Hello everybody and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be checking out something called Corp by developer The Catamites with music by New Vaders. This is a surreal 3D mysterious exploration adventure, I guess is probably the best way I could put it. We're going to take on the role of some mice in a civilization that seems to be threatened by the world at large, and our primary goal is to go out and harvest these things called wonder berries that are going to be all around us, but also there are some challenges that are going to stand between us and them. So we're sent out on each day to try and grab as many as we can and avoid all the dangers, while also kind of charting out the world and hopefully keeping our civilization going and alive and happy and thriving and all of that good stuff. So why don't we jump into things, and I will take you on a little bit of a tour of this very bizarre and kind of awesome world. Tearfully, the bravest mice in all of Corp had left their peaceful holes to harvest the magical wonder berries that powered their beneficent empire. Yet the war goes on. So we begin our journey in a first-person view, and we can actually look around our tiny little town, and it's day 368, and it kind of poses that in one of those cinematic, the world has been overlaid with text kind of views, and I kind of appreciate that. And there's a little bit of an instruction thing going on over here. So these are the three main rules about success in Corp. Get the berries, look out for Chomp Chomp, and you can do it. I like number 3. It's a nice inspirational quote to keep us going. And if you're wondering what Chomp Chomp is, well, they do a good job of letting us know. This is Chomp Chomp over here. You can tell because of the knife and fork and the very angry looking, or I don't know, confusing look on its face. So, in order to actually get into the proper exploration, where things will actually shift into third person, let's go over to the roster and see which mice we're going to be taking out into the field today. Susie, Lolo, and Mopey, with a berry quota of 45, and we've got a quote today of "Who dares wins." I've heard that somewhere before. Alright, so that's our squad. Let's go for a walk, and the awesome retro soundtrack begins. It actually reminds me exactly of something out of Sega Genesis, and it's so freaking cool. It makes me just want to nod my head the whole time. So, let's get started. We've got some UI elements to go over here. On the top left corner, we've got berries. This is how many I've got on me at the moment. If I happen to get targeted by one of those enemies, we're actually going to lose all of our berries in one fell swoop. We got a clock on the right. Clock's important because if it becomes dark, well, this very kind of lively, happy dreamscape turns into something basically straight out of hell. Then, bottom right, we've got 3 controls. We've got a little question mark with this magnifying glass, and it gives us sort of a quick check-in on how our mice are doing. Mice looked around and saw fields. Mouse number 2 is thinking about Chomp Chomp. Mouse number 3 is thinking about running away. That could be a bit of a problem. We don't want them to run away. The one next to that, we've got a reticle that's going to allow us to shoot our laser blaster at things. That's a berry bush right there. I just targeted and killed it, and now I can go up and harvest it with this other icon, which is the sword. So that's going to be 1 out of, what are we going to need, like 3 of those. It's really not a very high quota to begin with. So let's just harvest these and get our job done for the day, and we can maybe consider exploring a little bit more on another time. But for now, it's all about business. So, what kind of criticisms have I had? Well, I really love the art style in general. The music is absolutely fantastic. I love the premise behind this game. One thing that I might say might need a little bit of work, and we'll probably see this come up later, the camera can be a little bit funky. I've had it get stuck on objects in the scenery a few times, and that can be a bit frustrating, especially when the mice just keep getting further and further away, and you just can't find them anymore. It could actually kind of end the game. I've needed to actually reset the camera on a number of times. Other than that, the controls are maybe a little bit odd also because I'm using WASD and mouse both at the same time, no pun intended, I suppose. And it works, but also could probably be smoother in some ways as well. But for, all intents and purposes, not a super high, action game. This is mostly just, take your time, look around, explore. And sometimes shooting things just doesn't work for a while. I'm not sure if there's maybe collision stuff that's happening that I'm not really aware of. Because if you don't kill these bushes, well, they kind of, slide away from you for some reason. So let's walk up to that and harvest away. I would like to go over quota. I mean, I guess it can't really hurt. Although I guess if you go over quota, you're just kind of making your life harder later because you have to still use the same bushes and they only get 3 back the next day. So I might actually be challenging myself in a way that's really not very beneficial. Anyway, why don't we just go back home and we'll call it for this particular journey, since, you know, this is just our first day anyway. Where's the front of... Ah, there it is. Yeah, since we can't actually control the camera on our own, it gets to be a little strained. Okay, so our quota was 45, we picked up 60. We did a great job. So we can sleep or we can party. I don't see a reason not to party. I think we should definitely do that. Let's just hear another awesome bit of the soundtrack, which, like I said, really, really love the soundtrack of this one. And we're just going to kind of vibe out and hang out on top of these crates. I'm guessing we were all drunk on berries or something like that, who knows. And whenever I feel like I'm done with this scene, I can just click and go to the next day. So every day the mice collected the berries. Sometimes there were too many or not enough. It was difficult. The mice talked it over and agreed, yes, it was difficult. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the narrative moments that we have in like the Yog between important events. Alright, day 369. Any new lessons here? Oh, what's this say? An open letter to whoever is trimming their whiskers in the commode. Yeah, that's not good. We should definitely teach our young mice about this. And let's see what the roster has for us today. Susie, Lolo, and Mopey, berry quota of 60. We're counting on you. Alright, I'm not going to let you down, don't worry. Okay, so we're going to head off over in this direction, and we're going to shoot a couple of bushes real quick, and see if we can't just get things started off on the right note. Okay, come on now. You can do this. Yeah, there we go. I'm not sure where I'm supposed to shoot, but it just seems like it doesn't hit a lot of the time. Maybe it's just because, you know, accuracy or something like that. But, you know, there's no modeling of, like, a laser beam shooting the bush or anything, so it's kind of hard to tell what's going on. So we're already up to 30. Got plenty of time on the counter. And this is a bit of a problem where if you end up very, very far away from your, you know, fort, you may have absolutely no idea where you are and get completely lost, and then have to slowly retrace your steps, and by the time you figure out where you are, it may actually end up being nighttime, which could pose, well, at the very least, a little bit of an unsettling end to your journey. So, hello, testing, can you hear me? This is Bird Me's... Okay, I don't know what's up with these question mark blocks. They're a little bit strange. So, in addition to this giant field, like I mentioned, there's some other areas, and I haven't actually found out how to get to any of them, but from looking at one of the websites, there's actually like a little HTML file that seems to sit next to the EXE. There was one that took me to a place, and it was like, it looked like there was about 7 or 8 different other places that seemed like they were just as expansive as this. So it seems like there's a lot of journeying and exploration to be done if you're interested. So despite the simple premise, it seems like this might actually be a game that has some legs to it, and you could perhaps get a bunch of hours. I haven't actually seen all that stuff myself, like I said, but I am interested in spending some time and sorting it all out. So, okay, Bush, you got this. Let's move things along. I'll just keep getting closer. I don't know what's up with that diamond that spins over there. It might be an enemy, it might be friendly, I'm not really sure, but I haven't been taught in my school lessons to be afraid of diamonds, so I mean, I should probably try and interact with it. Oh god, this one's getting closer. I thought they ran away, so that's a little bit concerning. Okay, I'm actually over my quota already. Let's see if we can shoot the diamond with the blaster, maybe? I'm not sure if I've had any results from doing something like this before. I've only seen one of these once. And doesn't seem like it's getting hurt. I could walk into it and see if it just kills all my berries, I guess. Oh, it makes a sound. Well, that's neat. Can I harvest this? Maybe I could bring this back and use it for a fuel source. I've kind of trapped it in the corner. How are our mice doing? Mice looked around and saw fields. Mice looked around and saw fields. Mouse 1 is thinking about mouse 2. Mouse 3 is thinking about mouse 1. Well, that's kind of confusing, isn't it? What do you have to say for yourself, Block? Columns to represent the apex of our reign. We're finding lots of berries, and our quarterly income estimates are exceeding. Okay, sounds good. Should also be aware there are places you can go where you can just kind of GG yourself. Like, I believe there were just, like, ends that I've found to this world where you could just fall off. And sometimes the camera doesn't quite catch up fast enough, so I've actually run into situations where I've fallen into a pit and had no idea that I was able to get down there, and then the camera kind of got hung up on the ground around me. So you've got to kind of prevent that from happening by being a little bit ahead of things if you can. So I'm pretty far away from my home base right now, and I'm thinking probably what's going to happen is we're going to end up running into nighttime any moment now. And it's going to be quite a journey and an experience, and all of the things that looked so happy, yeah, just got threatening. So it used to be kind of happy, welcoming numbers above all the berry bushes, now kind of look like deadly eyes off in the distance. And you can see quite how many of them there are. There's a lot, actually. If we wanted to really harvest to our heart's content, I imagine we could do this for a very long time. And the camera seems to be very, very far away from our mice at this point. If we could at least just have like a scroll wheel function to pull the camera in tighter, that would be really handy. And then we just kind of got hung up. Oh god, there's an enemy! I almost didn't even see it because we were so far away. I need to get some distance and then snipe at him. There we go. Yeah, I would lose all of my berries if I didn't take that guy out fast enough. I'm also wondering, like, what happens if one of the mice run away? Are you still able to carry all the berries with 2 or 1? Or do you just lose all of that, too? Because then you've got to actually kind of manage your mice mental capacities, too, and their general demeanor and all of that stuff. So why don't we just go home and call it a day? It's almost midnight. There we go. So we got 75 berries out of a quota of 60. We did great. I think tonight we'll just sleep. We'll have dreams about pyramids and berries and chomp-chomps. The mice missed their homes. Day after day, they entered the terrible fields. Some ran away from the mission and never returned. Poor mice that left, poor mice that stayed. It's quite a conundrum. I really like the overarching tone that's just very kind of overly dramatic to this game. While also kind of being juxtaposed by how silly the whole thing is. It's a really nice vibe that it's got going on. You can't tell if it's serious or if it's dark. It's kind of got like an Adventure Time feeling to it, which is a great thing for me. Well, I love that series anyway. Why we fight? Why do we fight? Well, we fight for berries, and we fight for freedom, I suppose. I guess I could go on one more journey here, and we'll just wander off and push it to the limit and see what we can find. How about we head off in the direction behind the actual fort and see if there's anything going on back there. Because I think that's where I ran into a deadly pit that when I fell down into, it actually wasn't deadly, it just looked like it was. And I'm told there's actually some big scary foes that might await off into the distance too. So, I mean, freeform sandbox exploration, plus mice, plus occasional treasure. As you can see over here is actually a treasure chest or 2, maybe just 1. I thought that was another one over there. Let's shoot it. I think we gotta shoot it. What's gonna be in here? Inside the treasure chest, the mice found a comb. Sweet! Mice really can repurpose things like that very well, if I've seen anything about how mice work. Alright, I'm just gonna ignore, like, everything if possible. Oh, some pretty stars that crash into the ground. Seem like they're harmless enough. I was also wondering if the bush, the berry bush could actually be, like, an adversarial thing, but no, it seems like it's just kind of passive. They're a little bit, worked up for whatever reason. They need to be stunned before they can be harvested, but, you know, they'll regrow their berries the next day, just not all of them, so you've got to actually kind of parcel out how you handle the situation. Alright, this is where we're going to let the camera catch up a little bit before I walk any further, because this could end up being trouble. Can I climb up on this structure? Kind of curious to know if I could get a better vantage point or something like this. Oh, I can actually, that's neat. Alright, let's scurry along up here and see what there is to see. Looks like I might see the end of this path. And there's no, like, force fields or anything to hold you back, so if you run into a spot like that, you can pretty much just jump off, which is actually a good thing, in this case anyway. Let's open up this treasure chest. I always keep thinking it's the Harvest Berries button. We found a music box. That's neat. I'm sure the party people back in the house are going to enjoy that very much. Kind of wish there was a sound test mode to this game, honestly. Like, maybe you could discover the soundtrack in chests and, like, open them up one by one, and then they would appear on your options menu or something. You just listen to the music ad infinitum. Or, you know, at the very least, maybe there should be... I don't know, maybe there is actually an OST that's available for purchase, because I would totally buy it. This is a really, really good soundtrack. Oh, man, there's rainbows off in the distance. Can we get over there in time before night? Gonna be cutting it a little bit close, and I haven't actually gone for any berries today. This is not a berry journey. Oh, I found a pyramid! Oh, definitely gonna go in there if we can. Pretty sure we can as well. I'm not seeing any doors from here. I'm just gonna give the camera a moment to catch up, because right now my mice are so tiny, I'm not gonna be able to see any enemies if they run into me. No, I guess not like it matters. When you have no berries, you have nothing to lose, so really it's just about how much you want to push it. Oh, does that... I think the door might need a key to get in. Oh, that's so frustrating. I just wanted to go explore Pyramid World. This checkerboard pattern is probably intentional, but totally reminds me of Sonic the Hedgehog. Is there even a door on any side of this? I don't know how I'm supposed to see the back part of the pyramid, though. Well, maybe I could turn it this way. Alright, no door on this side. Maybe you just go to the sign with the key? I'm not honestly sure how any of this stuff works. Oh god, it's night. There's so many moons, and they're all terrifying. Well, I think this is going to pretty much bring us to a close for our Mouse Core video. You guys should definitely go give this a download. It's pay your own, or name your own price. So if you have any reservations, well, I encourage you to support the developer, because this game is very well done. And with the exceptions, just those little nitpicky things that I mentioned. Oh, what's up with this? There's totally a force field here. Oh, that's frustrating. I want to get to this treasure chest. But definitely do what you can to support developers with original ideas like this. This is a really strange and unique and kind of wonderful game. And I would love to see more things along this line developed in the future. Especially by this very developer. I don't know what's up with this area, but there just seems to be a big old massive invisible wall. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like on it because it helps me out a whole bunch. All the links that we're going to need are going to be right in the description. And of course, feel free to come back again tomorrow. New episodes of Indie Impressions go up every single day without fail. So if you enjoyed this one, consider subscribing to the channel, and then you'll get new notifications every day when whatever I cover goes up, as well as the various Let's Plays and other strange videos that I happen to post on my account. So I will see you all very soon. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great night, everybody.